Shatner, and I don't understand.
The legendary actor William Shatner is out with a new show called I Don't Understand, where he finds answers to issues where he doesn't understand. William Shatner joins us now to talk about it. Welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be with you.
Where does the idea for this show come from?
I mean, I've attained this old age, and you're supposed to know something. You're like, yes, my dear, and you bequeath pieces of profound wisdom to people you love, and don't to people you don't love. No, I'm not going to talk to you and bequeath wisdom to you because I don't like you. But the fact of the matter is, anybody really aware is you don't know anything. The more you know, you think, whatever I knew just went out the window because of this new fact, just destroyed everything. Like, oh, we got measurements of the sky. What do you mean black matter? You mean it's like a cover? Black matter is in the way? And then how do you know what your measurements are? So it's all topsy-turvy all the time. And I realize we don't know anything.
So, I mean, what is the most surprising thing that you've learned? And is there a little bit of wisdom you can pass on to us?
Well, the only thing I can come up with is the little bit of wisdom is a little bit of wisdom. After all this, you only got a little bit. Don't you have more than a little bit? No, and let me tell you how little a little bit is. What is anything that cliche that I say? Well, Jesus, we know that life is circular. Or the ups or down, it comes down. Be aware, just live in the now. I mean, everybody knows that. So what are you going to come up with? Well, live in the now. Okay, Shatner, we know that. What else? What have you garnered in all your life? We know about live in the now. And that's all I can come up with. The only new thing is like having a conversation with you and discovering something that you and I didn't know, whether it's about you, whether it's about me, whether it's about a third fact, God, you're wearing a purple tie. Why did you choose purple? No, seriously.
It's actually it's red and blue, but
it's red and blue.
Maybe the combination is purple.
The combination so it's red. It's red and blue. Why would you choose a red and blue tie with a black jacket? Why would you do that?
I was interviewing a bunch of politicians earlier, so I was going for the all-American thing. That was my.
So, I mean, that's droll, but there's a reality. How many times do you see these guys with the red tie and the dark suit?
Right.
I mean, everybody's dressing with a red tie and a dark suit now because he did.
Well, let's talk.
Leaving it open.
One of the things that's interesting about this experience is that this airs on RT, which is Russian TV, which some have said is like a propaganda arm of the Russian government. I know you push back. You push back on that, right?
Yeah, I'm working for Aura TV. I made a show for Aura TV, and where they sold it wasn't up to me. Now, RTV sounds like Russian television, but I'm told no more than the British Broadcasting Corporation or the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation or the French. Everybody has so that's what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. All I know is that this little show is about why are you wearing a purple, a red and blue tie? But I'm serious. Because red and blue ties have ramifications. Right. Identification. You want to identify. Why do you want to identify with those politicians? Is that your political ilk? Great. Why would you wear? Why did you wear a sign? I mean, you could go on, and the subject matter amplifies, and it's just curious.
Right.
And you can drain the juices of truth out of any leaf of fact.
Well, something that was really cool this week was we see space tourism, right? We saw Jeff Bezos, we saw Richard Branson. If you were invited to go on a trip, would you go? Would you want to go to space, the final frontier?
Well, you're going to have an exclusive, okay?
Okay.
About a year ago, we had heard that Blue Origin was going to go into space, and I and a producer went to see Mr. Bezos in Seattle with the idea, why don't you invite me to go on as a beginning astronaut, and I'll work out as an astronaut, and I'll get all the information, and I'll do all the things that astronauts do. and then go aboard your ship on this flight. And I said, what a great idea. That'll get a lot of publicity. And I said, great, yeah, well, wonderful. So we started talking, and it went on, it dwindled on. And then one day I read that Mr. Bezos is going to go up himself. Well, maybe he'll ask me to join him. He asks his brother to join him. Wait, his brother? And then another recipient. And then, so we laughed because we had gone to Seattle and met Jeff in the lobby of his great building, which is all paean of praise to Star Trek.
So but would you go? I mean, there's going to be more trips. Would you go if offered?
No, but I wanted to be on the first one. I mean, who wants to go after some sickly lady who's going to do this? It's the last thing she does on Earth. You know, here's Grandma. It's going up there. Bye, Granny. And Granny goes up and floats, has a heart attack, and dies in space. And that's her legacy. It's great.
Speaking of that, let's talk about your legacy. You've inspired so many generations, me included, as a giant Star Trek geek as a kid. You've inspired a lot of this space tourism that you're seeing now, this whole mission.
Apparently.
How would you describe
fire? I think they've banked the fire a little bit. They've subdued the fire a little bit. Yes.
How would you describe your own legacy, though?
Nobody leaves a legacy. That's ridiculous. It's all ashes. The only thing that really stays is good deeds. Good deeds reverberate, and they have a life of their own. And like the butterfly effect, a good deed just goes back and forth around the world and keeps regenerating itself. Till the end of time, a good deed reverberates.
Pretty profound. Well, thank you for all that you have done. Thank you for all the good deeds that you have done over the course of your life. Thank you for inspiring so many of us. Your new show, I Don't Understand, airs on RT America. You can also check out the first episode on YouTube right now. William Shatner, what a pleasure. That was an interview unlike anything I've ever done before.
Thank you, man.
And like anything I've ever seen before. Can we talk about how amazing he looks at 90 years old, number one?
Looks pretty good.
Number
pretty
two,
sharp.
you know who else looks amazing? Is 82-year-old Wally Funk. That is the grandmother who went up in space and made history as the oldest person to do that.
It looked great when she came down as well.